Hello everyone, this is Ethan Colbert again with Century 21 Parker & Scroggins Realty. This is coming at you with the Grant County gang as always. Today I have the pleasure of having Michael Babb with RMS Electric here. We're going to go deep dive a little bit into his business as well as his personal life and what they like to do. So let's go ahead. Mike, if you would, go ahead and start off. Tell us a little bit about your business.
My name is Mike. I've been doing the electrical for probably 18 years. Roughly 18 years. Was tired of just the normal going to work every day, so decided to dive into the business side of things, and I want to bring a different aspect and a different way of doing work to the community, and I want to give back to the community.
So that's how you kind of you went from like that idea of, you know, big corporate business to let's facilitate a small business, but let's tend to the needs of the people and build those relationships and everything.
So we want to be a household name.
Yeah.
We want to be somebody that you got in your phone book. You can call and say, "Hey, Mike will take care of it."
Yeah. And they'll answer, and they'll it won't be automated. For instance, it'll be like, "Hey, what you need? Let's get let's problem solve."
Well, and at that same time, we also want to be as structured and founded enough to take care of your big commercial needs as well. So, you know, from whatever you need, from your home all the way up to an industrial install, we want to be able to do it all.
Yeah, that's great.
But we want to keep the small town home family feel about it.
Good, that's great. And I mean, I think we're kind of having a little shift in the community and the economy where, you know, entrepreneurship has increased by 70% over the last 2 years.
Right.
And so, I mean, I think that the people who do hold those values are starting to show, you know, and they've gained expertise through their past experiences in work, and now they're like, all right, hopefully we can do this, and people will understand that, you know, you're not just a number. We're trying to start from the ground up with what we know, but we are building relationships.
That's it. We do countless projects from, we've got RV parks, we've done just regular mobile home installs, we can do your swimming pool, we can do anything when it comes to the terms of electrical, we can do it.
Yeah.
You know, so we're very well versed across the entire skill trade.
That's awesome.
So,
and so based off of you know, kind of what we've discussed, how would you say you started? How was it starting out for you since going to your, you know,
starting personal business?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was a little hit and miss there at first. You know, like I say, I come from the work side of it. You know, we don't ever get to see the business end of it.
Yeah.
But I knew I could do it.
Yeah.
I'm a faith-based community, or faith-based employer, and so I put everything in God's hands. We pray over it. That's awesome. And we make all our decisions through prayer.
Me too. Every morning.
Yeah, every morning.
Every morning. Family. So, that's how we start our morning. Family prayer.
I had a bad experience at the employer right before I started this.
Mm-hmm.
I always like to tell people when I'm telling them, sometimes blessings don't come in a nice wrapped up box. They come in the form of somebody cussing you out.
Yeah, I was gonna say most blessings usually come from hardships.
That's it.
Because it's a blessing in disguise.
Right. Yeah. And so it's a slap in the back of the head that says, "Hey, listen, you need to be doing something else." Yeah. So I took that, went to a new church, Life Church Little Rock, and that Sunday I got just slapped in the face with a message. Yeah. And I went in that Monday and I quit my job and started RMS, and we've been rocking on ever since.
So during, you know, and did you start at 18 years ago, or
no,
just your experience started 18 years ago?
So I started right out of high school.
Okay.
With a company called RMS Electric. Tony Courtney's my cousin. He was looking for help. Yeah. And I've done everything in the trade from HVAC, plumbing, framing, just a little bit of everything in the construction industry. Wasn't really for me. He come over for a birthday party one night and said, "Hey, I need help. You want to try to be an electrician?" I said, "Hey, why not?" Yeah.
Reliable.
Started that Monday, and 18 years later, here we are. You know, I love every bit about it. It's one of the most satisfying things that I've ever done in my life.
Well, that's awesome to hear. And to me, you know, anyone who has their passion and knows what their passion is, you know, as long as they have that good work ethic to pursue their passion, then
Right.
you know, God will keep them in their hands, and you'll make something of yourself, and you'll help people, which is the goal. Helping people in areas that they need help and they lack the knowledge to help themselves. So that's what we all are here for. You know, it's a community. You know. But anyway, so what drives you now to continue doing what you were doing, even through like economic hardships and stuff like that? You know, what makes you just continue to stay motivated day in and day out?
I guess the biggest thing is knowing that I have people depending on me.
Yeah.
I have employees that have full families, and you know, they look up to me and they depend on me.
Right.
So I want to make sure that they have a healthy, great place to work, and that they're taken very good care of.
So what would you say most people love about your business in difference to the, you know, past experiences that you had?
Well, the most feedback that we get is the personal aspect of it. We're very laid back. My guys are very communicative on what they're doing. If they have any questions, they're able to answer it, not just in a vague, generic answer. They give them detail and tell them why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Also, they like the innovativeness that we bring into to your project, and the suggestions that we have, because this is what we do. This is our passion. We love meeting with people and seeing their dreams and being able to facilitate those into actual projects. And I'd say that's what most people like about it, is that we actually care about what we're doing.
Yeah, and in a sense, you're able to envision what you're going to create, and then you convey that to them, and then seeing it come to fruition is what's that, you know, accomplishment and that satisfaction feeling.
Yeah. And then another thing we get is how clean we are.
Yeah.
We come into your place of business or your home, and when we leave, you can't really tell we've been there.
Right.
You know, we make the transit, that repair, that upgrade, very painless.
Right.
So we want you to feel like you've got your money's worth and that you got a good quality job. And if we leave a huge mess, it's not good. Yeah. So
I was gonna say, it doesn't affect, you know, like it depreciate the value of your property or anything that you're doing, because you've replaced it. Yes, it's fixed, but you've damaged something in the process. So that's great.
We're able to do a lot of times what other companies won't even attempt or say is impossible. There's, on a pretty regular occasion, we'll go into a job where we've had 4 guys come look at this and say it's not possible. Well, we make it happen.
Yeah. In
a very invasive way.
Yeah.
And uninvasive way.
Yeah. I get you. Well,
yeah,
if there's a will, there's a way.
That's it.
And you know, some of our biggest hurdles we've always got to be creative to overcome. But they're there for a reason, and that just, you got to be creative, and that's part of what we do. So, and I think the passion is what is needed in order to do that, because if you don't have that drive, you're not going to want to problem solve.
Right.
You know, you're just going to want to go to the next thing that's easy.
That's it.
And so that's why we need people like yourself who have that joy to be able to, again, create that vision and, you know, proceed with it. When dealing with your employees, what do you do to encourage your employees?
Like I said earlier, I want to create a very healthy work environment. Whatever they need time off, they need extra money that week, they need something from me, I'm going to make sure that they have it.
Yeah.
I want them to know that I'm not only their boss, their employer, I'm also a friend and somebody they can come to.
Right.
So
mentor.
A mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have a whole lot of that coming up through the trade, so I grew a resentment towards upper management.
Right.
And it was not a very motivating environment.
Yeah.
So I make sure my guys are very well taken care of. I make sure that their pay reflects the work that they put forth, and just all in all, treat them like a human.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Not a robot, not a number, nothing. They are. Everyone is a. Yeah. Anyway, I can go on.
Oh yeah, I can too.
I sit here and talk a lot, guys. And I apologize for that. This is all on you, but I enjoy it. So anyway, so let's talk and kind of segue to the market that we're in and the neighborhood that we're in. What is it that made you, you know, what keeps you here, and what do you like about this neighborhood?
So the Hensley East End area is it's very convenient, but you still have that small town feel. If you want to count it, we've got 2 stoplights, one on 167, one in East 10. You've got all your stuff that you need in town, so the convenience in that small town is what I was looking for.
Right.
I didn't want to raise my daughter in a big town, so we were looking somewhere that we could still get to town. And Little Rock, we can be in Sheridan, we can be in Pine Bluff. That's very convenient.
Yes.
But not just that. Once we moved here, we realized that the community itself is a very humble community, very responsive, and just an all-around caring community.
It is.
So we've really been accepted by our neighbors and just people you meet at the store. Everybody's so genuine.
Yeah.
That I'm really kind of taken back from it.
It's nice. It feels homey.
It feels like home.
Yeah, and that's again on a lot of these interviews and stuff. The last interview I had, they said the same thing. It's just home,
right?
And you don't get that feel, everywhere else. Or
there's no division. You go to the stores and it's everybody helping everybody.
Yeah.
So it's very refreshing. What you hear on the news and see on Facebook and things like that.
I don't even pay attention to it anymore, because I think now it's like we're so diluted with it that everything that you look on either social media or the news, it's all negative, and it's all negative impact. And so all that does is affect your mind. And if if we're aware that there's always going to be evils in the world, there always has been. So nothing changes. It's when you put yourself into that, then you're exposing yourself to a negative mindset, which is also blasphemy.
That's it.
So you don't want to, it's our due diligence to make sure that we avoid that stuff so we can bring out the light in so many other aspects, because there's so much negativity going on in the world. It's like, okay, we need to shine the light so much. I want to
be a light that people see.
Right.
And I run into that so much in this community.
Yeah, I know, and I do too.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, and I try to provide that. Anybody I meet, I try to be with a smile and just be look, I'm here for you and whatever you need.
I'm a big bearded guy. I kind of come off as intimidating, as some folks tell me, but once they get to know me, they realize I'm just a big teddy bear. Teddy bear!
So, you're comfortable to lay on.
I'm just here to hang out, but ain't nobody gonna mess with you.
Yeah. So being in this neighborhood, what do you do outside of work?
Well, most would call it work outside of work, but I like to build hot rods or work in the yard and better the property, and I like those things, running machines and building things with my hands. I've always loved doing that. Outside of that, my other passion is cooking.
Really?
I cook you anything you want to cook.
Could you ever foresee potentially doing like a little side, like say that your business gets doing well and you're able to step back a little bit? Could you ever see yourself doing something like that just on the side?
So actually, before I started RMS, I was at such a place, a crossroad in my career.
Yeah.
It was, do I want to continue doing this?
Yeah.
So I actually looked into that.
Yeah.
Starting a food truck or starting a brick and mortar. And it was a very big possibility. It just happened, the cards fell, and like I said, I went to church that Sunday and it said, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
And that's the direction I went. But yes, it is a goal and a plan within the next 5 years to start something in that industry as well.
Very neat. So, for any of you that's watching, we did an interview with Blue Pig Craft Barbecue a month or two ago, and they had a very similar story. So if you haven't seen that, please go back and listen, because they started from a food truck, and it was just an idea from some neighbors saying that you're really good at this, and it ended up sparking the passion. And now look at them, they've got a whole store over there in Sheridan, Arkansas. So
and they're wonderful,
and they're great. They're fantastic.
So they've saved my nights many a time out there hunting. But yeah, I would love to. It's either hunting or fishing or cooking. As long as I'm outside, I'm happy.
Good. So, yeah, outdoor man. Well, who in your past has made the greatest impact on your life to kind of lead you to where you are now?
So I've got two. The first one was my grandpa. I don't know him personally. He died when I was very young.
Yeah.
John Courtney. He passed away unexpectedly, but knowing the people, meeting the people that he knew through the years, and hearing how great of a man he was makes me want to live up to that name.
Yeah.
So I want to leave that kind of impact when I leave this earth. But the person that taught me the most would be Tony, my mentor, my boss, the master electrician I trained under.
Yeah.
He taught me everything he knew about the trade, about business, about selling, and just every aspect of the trade. I mean, he made sure I knew it and was pounded in my head, either willingly or forcefully.
Yeah.
So
created success out of you.
He created a successful person, and I'm forever in debt to that.
That's awesome. That's really respectable and very, very admirable and cool to hear. A lot of people, it's a relative of some sort, but when it's every now and again, it'll be someone outside that has changed their life so significantly that it, stories like that come up and we get to hear about it. And so appreciate you being able to convey that.
Right. Well, and what's crazy is I didn't know him growing up. He's like my third cousin.
Yeah.
We just happened to meet him at a birthday party whenever he come over to see if I wanted a job.
Yeah.
And ended up being one of the biggest people in my life. So that's
awesome.
It's just, to me, I look at it as divine intervention.
It is. There's no other way to look at it.
There's no other way to look at it. I didn't have a relationship with him. I've heard of him. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, now he's
gives you a job and turns you into
I talk to weekly, sometimes daily. It's pretty awesome.
But anyway, so if a young person asked you for advice on how to live their life, what would you tell them?
First off, I would tell them to step out of the worldly and step into the spiritual. And walk a path with God first.
Yep.
For so long, I walked my path and tried to make my own way. And it was very frustrating and full of a lot of headache, a lot of heartache, a lot of struggle. And it's not a path that's easy when you're trying to do that. So I would say, get in church, not just go to church, but get in church, get involved in church, and be a better man, and your life will fall into place after that.
If I can touch on that too, and in my point of view, or the way I kind of perceive that, I don't think like getting involved in the public church and everything, but also you being the church.
That's it.
It's implementing these little steps every day, these routines that make you the church, one with God.
That's it.
And so that's to me the most important factor.
It's very hard for you to get out of your own way.
It is.
But once you get out of your mind and you start thinking godly thoughts and start trying to better the other man instead of yourself, it's amazing what happens after.
I know.
And pray about everything.
Yeah.
That's it. Secondly, for somebody trying, a young person, I would say if you're interested in the trade, to do it. The talent pool is dwindling every year.
Yeah.
If you like to work with your hands, you want a successful career that's very fulfilling, go after it.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think about it too, like, we're going in such a technology heavy industry and world that there's always going to need to be electricians. Right. So you're set with work if you can just figure out, whether or not you can do it efficiently, but also in a way that gives you joy, then, the sky's the limit in that, because everyone's going to need electricity unless we get EMP'd or something,
And even then, we're still going to be making electricity.
Well, yeah, we'll still be on a wheel,
We'll be trying to do it somehow. The world today has moved towards so much for technology.
Yeah.
People want to sell stuff online or be YouTubers or do that for money. Well, all that's great.
Yeah.
But it's nothing without electricity.
Right. It won't even be operational.
You can build the biggest, nicest house in the world, the biggest building, whatever you want to build. Without power,
It's just an empty shell.
It's an empty shell. So
I know. It provides you from the rain.
We're never going to be without work.
Yeah.
So I had I forget his name now, but he was a electrical inspector. He was the head of in Little Rock, or the state for a while. And he told me, this has been about 15 years ago now. He said in 10 years, there will be a lack of employment. About 10 years, I noticed that, about 5 years ago. He said, but in those 10 years, if you stick with this and you learn the trade, you master it, you will be making the money a doctor makes, or a lawyer makes. You'll be able to do whatever you want to do. And I said, man, you're crazy. There's no way, because there was so much work. There were so many people out there. But through the years, I started seeing that. About 5 years ago, I really started paying attention to what I heard. And it's true. You know, and now that we're 5 years past that prediction that he made,
it's even worse.
It's even worse. You know, I don't know the exact statistics on it, but it's about every 10 that retire, we get maybe 2 or 3 that get their license. You know, so
wow.
There's a huge drop in the talent pool.
Wow.
So
anyone out there, you've got a mentor, someone who can guide you and is willing to do that. He has a passion, and it's very important that you have that. All right. Well, some closing statements, because you know, we've talked about your business and your qualifications and everything. Now let's go ahead and let the audience know, and all of our community know how to get in contact with you. And I'll put it on the screen, of course, so they'll be able to see how to get in contact with you.
So the best way to get in touch with me would be a phone call. The number that you see on my Facebook or on Google or on my website is my direct line. If you can't get me there, leave me a voicemail, send me a text. If you are a commercial or somebody looking for a commercial electrician, send me an email. My email's right there. It's RMS Electric LLC at Gmail.
Awesome.
Send me an email. I'll get right back to you. I'm very quick to respond. I try to answer my phone every time somebody calls.
All right.
I feel that's imperative to running a business.
Yeah, it needs to be. Yeah, I mean, you've got, well, anyway.
Don't answer your phone, you don't get calls.
Right, well, you're not helping anyone.
Right, that's it.
Well, thank you, everyone, guys. Again, this is Ethan Colbert with Century 21 Parker & Scroggins Realty. And, you know, if you need any real estate needs or any, you know, property management or investment needs, I'm your person to come to. This is Grant County Gang checking out. Thanks, you guys. Bye.